What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a Houdini Mini, I think. I forget what they actually called this. Houdini AET. This was from Benchmade. It is a model 30100. But what's interesting enough is that when I get to this, you'll see that the word Benchmade is nowhere on this box, because when Benchmade introduced this tool, they made a separate website, which is on here, HoudiniTool.com. I don't know if that even exists. I probably should have checked before I made this video. Let me check right now. Why not? Let's see. Grab my phone. Let's see. HoudiniTool.com. Is that a thing? It is. HoudiniTool.com. Is it a Benchmade thing? No, I'm seeing some different. Well, I see Baranda. Well, here. I might as well show you. This is the website now. Did I spell it right? HoudiniTool.com. Tool.com. Yeah. I don't think this has anything to do. No, I see some like bed bugs. Maybe this is some kind of travel thing. Okay. Well, obviously someone else took the website. So yeah, no longer a thing. Long discontinued Benchmade tool. It's funny because it has a Benchmade sticker and everything, and if you go to Benchmade's website, you won't find this because it's so long discontinued. However, if you go to, like, I think Knife Center or maybe some other knife dealer, they'll still show this on their website because they, for reference. Like sometimes BladeHQ does the same thing. They'll keep really old knives on their site. It shows discontinued. You can't buy them, but it's just a reference. Like, why delete it? You know what I mean? It's just good to have that on there forever so people can see these old blades and tools and stuff and all their specifications. Anyway, so the Houdini, I don't want to say this was the Houdini Mini is what they really called it originally, but I had the Houdini Pro, and the Houdini Pro was very, very cool. It has a full-size knife handle, so it looks like a regular old folding knife, but there was a light that was built into the handle, all right, and it was an automatic, and no, you know what? Maybe it wasn't automatic. Maybe it was manual. I'd have to reference my own video. It was very, very long time ago. But either way, the blade that popped out was basically a short gut hook. Okay, so you can use it as a strap cutter. I kind of want to say it was an automatic. Anyway, and then the bottom had a glass punch in it. Okay, so you had the light, you had the strap cutter, and the glass punch. Now, I think the most important tools in a survival tool for your vehicle, and that's what these are. These are vehicle emergency tools in case you get into an accident. Your seatbelt's locked on you and you need to get out of a window. The two most important tools is a strap cutter to cut the seatbelt. If it's completely locked, then you can't use the button to release it. And of course, some way of breaking that glass in case your electric is not working. Now, there's plenty of accidents where you could still just roll your window down, you know what I mean? Or if you have crank windows, if you have a really old car, that's even better. That's one reason some people prefer crank windows, is for an emergency preparedness. You can always crank it down no matter where you are, even underwater if you needed to. Now, of course, if you're really deep underwater, maybe the pressure won't allow that. I don't really know. I'm not a scientist, but I'm just saying, it's inconvenient for everyday life to crank a window, but it's not that big of a deal. I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid, so I cranked a lot of windows in my day. No big deal. And what's really funny too is, we still use this sign. Like if let's say you're in traffic and you want someone to roll the window down, you don't go like that. And there's comedians that say this. You don't go like, excuse me, can you roll the window down? No, you go like this, like roll your window down. Because if anyone's over like, I don't know, 30 years old, they'll probably know what this means. Roll your window down. So anyway, that's besides the point. So why did I get this? Well, this is my current and has been for many years, emergency tool that I keep in my vehicle. I actually have multiple of these. This is the one that I had in the Chrysler 200, but I do have another one which I had in my truck, and the one that was in my truck was also in the Monte Carlo. But this is from StatGear, and these are pretty cool. It has a nice long strap, so what I was able to do was fish this through the visor. It actually went like this, all right, through the the visor that comes down in the driver's seat. All right, so this was upside down, just like this. So the idea is if you get into an accident, having a tool inside your glove box is okay. It's a fine idea. Having it in your center console, fine idea. Having it in your cup holder, fine idea. Until you actually get into an accident. And as you may or may not know, car accidents are extremely violent, okay? Parts break, they go flying everywhere. So having it in a glove box might be fine, but let's say your car flips, rolls over, hits a tree, whatever, and the glove box flies open, breaks, and then your tool goes into the back seat. Now you're locked into your seatbelt and you can't reach the back seat where your survival emergency tool is. That would be a really tough situation. You know, you have a tool that you purposely got to prepare for this moment and it's unavailable to you. Same thing with the center console. That could break, you know, your car flips over, things fall to the roof, they shimmy out of the way and you can't reach it. So the most important part, if you're going to supply your own vehicle, and you should, watching this video, if you don't have some way of breaking glass and cutting your seatbelt, you should reconsider and get something. There's a million products out there, okay? Some are better than others. I would definitely recommend researching them because some glass breakers don't work all that great from different you know, companies and brands, different styles. I'm not a big fan of those like hammers, you know, emergency hammers. But anyway, that's besides the point. If you have something in there, it's better than nothing. Now, if you're watching this video, more than likely you carry a nice knife, which is fine. And in a pinch, you can use any knife to cut your seatbelt. Obviously, having strap cutters and stuff is advantageous because they're rounded and you're not going to easily cut yourself. But you know what? Who cares? If you have a nice sharp knife with a nice sharp point, you know, and you cut your seatbelt and you cut yourself a little bit in the process, whatever, it's an emergency. You're still cutting your seatbelt off and potentially saving your life by doing so. So, you know, not saying it's not the end of the world if you have a knife, but you know, consider a glass breaker, or at least consider watching videos on how to break glass with something you may already have in your car, like the headrest. Okay, now some cars, the headrests don't come out very easily. There's different scenarios, lots of different vehicles out there, but that's something that some people know and some people don't know. You could take the headrest off of your seat behind you and use those two prongs that go into the seat to break your window. Okay, so if you didn't know that, keep that in mind in case you know, find yourself not being prepared. But anyway, so I had this StatGear thing, and it's just getting old. I mean, the Velcro is kind of wearing out on it. It has a little strap here to keep the actual tool in. This Velcro is very weak. Sometimes it just, you know, pops off. Just nature of the beast. It got old, right? And I was going to replace it. I do like this a lot. I have nothing wrong with it or no problems with this. It's a very cool tool. So you can see it has a nice big grip for the handle here. Strap cutter, which is still brand new. Never use it. You shouldn't use it. All right, if you want to test these tools out, buy two of them. Keep one brand new so it's nice and sharp. Even worse than having a strap cutter in an emergency is having a strap cutter that's dull. That would be silly, right? But if you want to practice using it, just buy two of them. Most of these tools aren't all that expensive to begin with. And then of course they have an integrated glass breaker into the front. Okay, so you can use this to break the glass. Now let's say this is your window. I guess more like this. You want to use the inside corners when you're breaking glass. You don't just hit the middle. Okay, punch the inside corner or whatever tool you're using. But anyway, so yeah, I had this tool. It's very cool, but it's, you know, just getting old on me, and the strap and everything is getting worn out. So I decided to switch to something else, because why not? So cruising on eBay, I was able to find one of these old mini Houdinis. There was only one on there. Again, this is something that you're probably not going to be able to find. I love the full-size handle one. I got rid of that many, many years ago. It's very cool, but it's still a knife. You know what I mean? I can just carry a regular knife as I always do anyway. That's not the point. I want to have a permanent, a fixed tool in my vehicle, all right? So this was kind of a flash in my memory. I'm like, I know Benchmade makes a small version of that, and I finally found one. Ended up getting this for 15 bucks, you know, with I think it was like $4 or $5 shipping. So let's call it a $20 tool. At least that's what it cost me. So you can see Houdini Automotive escape tool, break cut escape. This is very cool because it has a couple extra features. So the window breaker is a must. This has a spring-loaded window breaker, which I would recommend for a lot of people because it takes all the thought out of it. Instead of hitting, okay, I didn't hit it hard enough, let me try again. Now I hit it too hard and my hand went through the window and I cut my wrist. You don't want to worry about any of that stuff. Using the punch is probably the best. Now, even if you do use a punch, if you push it on there and you have a lot of force, you could still push your arm through and cut yourself. Okay, if you watch videos on people breaking glass and stuff, a lot of times they're wearing gloves because it's broken glass. It can and will cut you sometimes. So something to keep in mind. But again, having some cuts on your hand, a lot better than being stuck in a car in a pond or something, whatever the scenario may be. You're using this tool if you have to escape. If you're in a normal car accident on the highway and it's not too bad and you're not like severely injured and dying on the side of the road, just wait there. Just wait there, don't move. People will help. We live in modern day society. People will stop. Someone will call the cops. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can get out of the vehicle, that I guess. But sometimes, like, you might have a neck injury and you don't really know it, and then you start moving around and it makes it worse. Then you're paralyzed. So I would recommend, if you don't think you're dying, to just chill out until help arrives and professionals could assess the situation. But, like, you know, I guess every scenario is different. You don't really know. If you see a fire, get the hell out of your car. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. To each their own, but that's what I would do. If it wasn't all that bad, I would probably try to hang there if I was injured for, you know, some kind of ambulance or medical to arrive. But anyway, so window breaker is a must. Seatbelt cutter is a must. Safety whistle. The safety whistle is kind of a bonus. And if you think about this, you know, there's a lot of scenarios where you can get into an accident. I mean, I live out in, you know, I wouldn't say the middle of nowhere. I'm in the woods, I'm in the mountains, but it's still somewhat suburbia. It's not convenient here, but it's not desolate either. I'm not like in the sticks, you know what I mean? So a lot of people from the city would think that, but there's still people. It's not like I'm driving on roads where I won't see anyone for 2 or 3 days. You know, if you live like something like that, then maybe, you know, the capability of making noise is more important. However, there's a lot of scenarios, like let's say when I visit my parents, right? They're a little bit more rural for sure. I wouldn't say middle of nowhere, but they're out there. And there's a lot of hills and cliffs and you know, there's definitely places. There's one particular hill that I travel sometimes. There's a couple different ways to get to their house, but if I go the one direction, there's very steep hills and there's deep cliffs and drop-offs. There's no guardrails or anything. So God forbid I hit a deer or swerved because of an animal's in the road and I went off that cliff, my car could be down 30, 40 feet off the road. You cannot see it. If I'm stuck upside down in my vehicle down there, I could sit there for weeks. Well, I would die, of course. But the availability of making noise is actually really important in that type of scenario. You know, where I'm stuck in the car, and ideally I wouldn't be because I cut myself out and broke the glass and crawled out of it. But who knows, maybe I'm really injured or something. I just can't move. Both my arms are broken or something. I don't know. But no one would know I was there, you know. Crashing on the highway, everyone's going to know you're there because everyone's passing you. But if you're in some rural area or whatever scenario you may live in, there's a lot of different situations where you could not be seen. You crash a car, but no one knows. That's one particular one I think about all the time. If you crashed and fell off a cliff, maybe people would see like disturbed trees, but I don't know if they would automatically assume that someone's down there who needs help. You know, so it's one of those things. So it's kind of pretty cool to have a whistle integrated to this. It was smart thinking by the person who happened to design this. And then this also has an LED flashlight. And this LED flashlight has a 5 lumen LED that runs for 10 hours. So let's go ahead and break into this. Take a look at it now that I've gone on and on blabbing. Didn't show you anything yet. So here's the paperwork. It is pretty cool. It comes with 2 spare batteries. So if you are using this in your car for the light, you know, and the light's getting kind of weak, whatever, I would replace the battery. You always want to have, obviously, a nice strong battery. Again, different scenarios where you might need to be able to look around in the car, or maybe it's nighttime and that little bit of light is what's going to get you seen, you know, on the road. You can kind of turn it on and off. But anyway, here it is. All right, I already put the little key ring. Usually this comes in this little pouch here as an accessory, but put the key ring on. All right, you can see on the side here, this is the punch for the glass breaker. So this recesses. All right, so basically, let's say my finger was a glass, and no, I'm not going to do that. My finger would hurt very much, but you'd put it up in the corner of the glass and you'd push forward. And as you push forward, this plastic retracts, and when it gets to a certain point on the bottom, the spring releases that carbide tip, and it punches out very quick and obviously breaks the glass. Okay, so it's considered an automatic punch. This is a very popular design. I really do prefer this as opposed to just, you know, something sharp. Then we have the whistle, okay, which is basically this entire body. So if you blow into that, it's a loud whistle. It's fairly loud. It says you can hear up to a mile. Maybe if there's literally nothing going on, I don't know. I don't know what the effective range of this whistle is, but it's a whistle. It makes noise. If you're seriously hurt and you're not seen anywhere, it'd be nice to make some noise. Then you're going to pull. So what you'd want to do is mount this hook on something, right? Now this is my kind of my dilemmas, because this was perfect because I always put it on the visor All right, and it was always there. Now I know if I got into an accident, it's unlikely, although not impossible, that my visor would still be there and not completely thrown into the back seat or something. So that was the idea, is that this would be pretty stable in a lot of different accidents. But in this case, I want to mount this ring onto something. Right now I'm kind of toying with the idea of the grab handle, because in the front driver's seat, I'm never using my grab handle. But I don't want it just like dangling there either. So I have to, you know, kind of think about where I'm going to mount this. But the idea is you mount this on something. All right. So when you pull, it pulls that piece off. Okay. So this gives you access to the tool. Now you took off the cover for your strap cutter, excuse me. All right. So there it is. And you would use that to cut your seatbelt, of course. But then also you're exposing the LED here for the light. All right. There's a switch on the side. Push the switch up. It does not stay on. Okay, and I think that's purposeful so that you don't accidentally leave it on. So let's say you're trying to illuminate something and you know, you let go of it or whatever, it's not going to accidentally stay on and run the batteries out. Okay, so it's kind of a spring-loaded thing. Push forward, you have your little 5mm LED, which in pitch black is totally fine for a lot of stuff. And then when you let go, it shuts off. All right, pretty simple. It is, of course, reusable. You can put this thing back on here. So I put it on the right way. All right, so there's a little channel on the front there. That's where that blade goes. And it snaps back on. All right, it takes a little bit of force, so it's not going to accidentally fall off here. You do have to really tug on it to get that off. But I think it's pretty cool. It's very compact. It's obviously yellow to be very visible. Okay, so even if it's dark out and it's hard to see in your car, hopefully you can see where this is so you can grab it. So yeah, I just kind of want to share that with you. Here's the paperwork that comes with it. Houdini Automotive Escape Tool. All right, and of course the old website. Shows all of its features here, how to use the strap cutter and all that good stuff. All right, how to replace the batteries, which is underneath. You can see there's a little box in there. And here is a picture of the Houdini Pro. All right, so I'm glad I was able to show you that, but I do think I have a video on it. It's very old. It's very, very cool. This is absolutely awesome. But keep in mind, it's still a knife shape. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I believe it came with a pocket clip, but you know, where are you going to put that where it's not going to just go flying? Because it's kind of heavy too. And I just feel like even if you had that clipped in inside your visor or something, it would probably just go flying if you got into an accident of any kind of force. But who knows? It is super cool though. I did have one. I regret getting rid of it, just like most of my knives. But you can't have them all. You know what I'm saying? I can't have like 50 million knives. So anyway, that is it. Just want to share this with you guys. Although this one is unavailable for most people, I would really recommend, of all of them, one of the best ones and one of the cheapest ones is the Resqme. All right, let me find that real quick to show you what that looks like. But I got one in a battle box before. They're very well known. They are very effective. They actually work really well. It's Resqme, I believe. Let me just double check here. Resqme, yes. All right, so let me go to their main website here. I don't have one to show you. I do have one in my wife's car. Okay, they come in a variety of colors, bright, you know, whatever. If you got a certain color car you want to match or something. These are fantastic. Same thing, they have an automatic punch for glass breaker, and then a strap cutter. This little plastic piece here covers the strap cutter, so you're not going to accidentally cut yourself or anything. But then you would put a key ring in there and attach it to something. So when you pull the tool off, just like this one, it would expose that that little blade. And then it's just really cool. I forget offhand if it looks like they have a light in the front too, but I don't really know. Let's see. Seatbelt cutter, window breaker, no. That's pretty much it. They have other tools too, but I wouldn't even mess with those. These are totally fine. I love these things. They work really, really well. These are like 10 bucks online. All right, maybe if you get on eBay, pay some shipping, or Amazon if you don't have Prime or something. Definitely look into these. This is just unique. I want to show this just because, you know, it's unique and people probably will never see this before. But these are available everywhere. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of these things, and they're affordable, and there's no reason not to have one in your car and all your loved ones' cars. All right, you never know what's going to happen. Again, you know, in 2021, we're not in the middle of the Old West or something. If you get into a car accident, people will probably come and help. But there may be those scenarios where help is not there quick enough, or not there where you really need them. And you have to be self-sufficient. You know, you have to be the first line of defense for yourself, you know. So you might have to cut your own seatbelt off. You might have to break the glass and crawl out of your wrecked car. It's good to have the option. You know, for 10 bucks, it's a little bit of peace of mind. But make sure, the most important thing, make sure whatever device you have, you can access it from the driver's seat without moving with your seatbelt on. Okay, that's the whole point. You need to cut your seatbelt off because it's locked, and it will not go flying in the accident. Resting this in your cup holder is not going to do anything, because when your car flips over, or even if you get into a fender bender at 20 miles an hour, you know, your whole car gets jostled. It's very, very violent. If you've never been in a car accident, it is very violent. You do not have to be going very fast. I've been in a very violent car accident where I was with my friend. I've told this story many times, but we were in a Jeep Cherokee, and we flipped over multiple times. That was horrific. It was crazy. It was just like in the movies where everything slows down and you don't hear anything. It was a very, very strange situation. But I've also been in a fender bender at like 30 miles an hour, and that sucks too. It's very violent. Actually, I've been in a couple. I crashed my Honda Accord as well, and that was only doing like 20 miles an hour, but it's still very violent, okay? And things go flying everywhere. So don't rely on, you know, if you get into an accident, you think it's still gonna stay in your cup holder. It's just not the case, okay? If you have to, you know, mount it around your shift knob or whatever, shift lever or something in your car, again, I have to kind of investigate and see where this is going to be practical for me, but it has to be mounted. You know what I'm saying? So I'll visit that in the future. I kind of just went and bought this before I thought about exactly where it's going to go, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Just wanted to share this with you guys. If you've never saw it before, even though Benchmade made this its own company and its own thing, it is a Benchmade, a Benchmade product, but it is a very cool idea for a rescue tool. So I like the bonus whistle and the light, but if anything, you need to have a glass punch and strap cutter. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Just wanted to touch upon the subject a little bit, maybe get it into people's minds. If you've never thought about this before, really consider it. Consider it for yourself. Consider it for your wife, your husband, your brother, your sister, your mother, father, grandparents, grandkids, you know, daughters and sons. Everyone you love should have some way of helping themselves out of a vehicle if it's wrecked, God forbid. But that's up to you guys whether you think you should be moving or not. Because yeah, in some situations you might make it worse. Your injuries could be worsened by you moving around. So that's a total judgment call. But having the option to do it is always good, even if you never use it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know down in the comment section, do you have some kind of emergency tool in your vehicles? Or did you just watch this video and think to yourself, holy crap, I need to get one of these things because what if I need it? I'm curious. Curious how many people are finding this video helpful and how many people are already prepared and just finding it entertaining. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.